got 1, 3, and 4 right now.
All right.
Let's go.
Now, I suspect these dogs are going to trip me up. I suspect there will be some duplicates on this list, but this is, I don't know either, but I'm suspecting. I think this is going to be interesting. This is going to be the best sophomore albums, meaning the second album. I have one clarification I'd like to make when I get to one of mine, because I'll explain it later. But so if I don't have it right, then I'll pick another one. But John, you're up. Who's your one? I mean, these aren't ranked. We're just listing them. There's really no ranking them was too difficult for me. So anyway, go ahead, because some of them are different.
I can rank
styles.
mine.
I could, but
Yeah,
I didn't.
I'm going to go from bottom to top.
All right, go
because
ahead.
That'll work.
Rank them.
Number 6
Number
is
six.
an album that I listened to a lot when I was a kid.
Seis en español.
Fantastic from start to finish. It's very obscure. It's not exciting. It's not in your face. There's a lot of storytelling, which is what this guy did a lot of. But the album is I, Robot, Alan Parsons Project. Fantastic.
Very interesting band.
From Some Other Time, The Voice, Breakdown, so many different songs on this album. They're good. I actually hit him with one of these the other day, a couple weeks ago on the golf course. I said, "Who is this?" Usually when I say, "Who is this?"
It's either ELO,
Yeah. He
Or
knows to say Alan Parsons
Alan
Project.
Parsons.
He did not get it.
and I missed the
but
zombies today.
He did.
I said the animals.
He did.
Carry on.
It's not the same.
But the album from start to finish is just it's clean, it's pure, it's relaxing. It's just a great album. It really is.
All right.
That's a good one, John.
Mine is Radiohead's The Bends.
Oh, nice.
It's not my favorite Radiohead album. I like Kid A the best. That's yeah, that's my favorite of all their albums. But I love
Rainbows by far.
I love Radiohead. I think they are phenomenal. And when you listen to The Bends,
I'm shocked you picked that. I would not have won that bet.
Yeah, it is. It's just a great album. Planet Telex, Fake Plastic Trees. It's just the first 4 songs of that album are just absolutely perfect. High and Dry, all that. And, Iron Lungs sounds exactly like something that Lennon and McCartney would have written.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the Beatles after the Beatles, but with modern production that sounds cool. And Johnny Greenwood, in my opinion, is an absolute beast of a writer. Everybody gives York all the credit, but Johnny is a huge portion of that band. They just do so many brilliant things.
Do you know Johnny does a lot of soundtracks?
Yeah, he does. And I want to say he did No Country for Old Men.
And Blood.
Yeah. Or no. There Will Be Blood.
There Will Be Blood.
That's what I'm.
Yeah,
That's
There Will
what.
Be
I'm-
Blood,
Yeah. He's very, very talented.
That's a great album.
So yes, I like that one. That was the album that turned me on to them. That was the first one I bought when I got past Creep. Creep's a cool song, but it got played out so much I couldn't get into Pablo Honey. But I bought the Bends, and I was like, "Ooh, this is awesome!" And by that time, OK Computer had already been out, and Kid A was coming out.
Don't you, boy?
The guitar is the first thing that really gets you on that song. You hear that?
Yeah,
I mean, it's just,
and you know
so
what?
Cool.
What I like about them is if you listen to Oasis, you think these are Beatles songs. Like that's Imagine, that's this, that's that. They sound just like it. They're different. They're like if the Beatles had kept writing albums. They took what the Beatles did and expanded on it, and it's got a lot of different influences. It's not just Beatles music, but it's obviously heavily influenced by it, and I just love the stuff they put together.
Their sophomore album was my number 7.
Interesting. All right, Peter.
Oasis was?
That's just where my word.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, I thought you meant Radiohead.
No.
Okay, interesting. It's a good album. It is. I mean, those are great songs.
I'm gonna go the Southern Harmony and Musical Companion by the Black Crowes.
Now, just so we're clear, you don't think that these are the best albums they ever wrote, right?
No.
These are just...
It's the best
in this case, yes.
You think that's better than Shake Your Moneymaker?
Hands down.
Okay, all right. But not all of them. Okay, all right. It's just the best second album.
Think about this.
Because mine were not.
You know what? Maybe.
Mine were in some cases, but not all. Like, for example, I think Kid A is better, and OK Computer's better. The Benz is probably...
I see what you're saying, though.
Benz is probably
But no,
third.
in this case, I think Southern Harmony Musical Companion is the Black Crowes' best
That's
album.
a good album.
And you went from the... I mean, they were covering old blues tunes on Shake Your Moneymaker.
Yeah.
And then they started writing.
And another brother band who, once again, Pantera, Van Halen, Sepultura, they all create great bands because the brothers just
But,
they just get each
there's a
other.
song like Sometimes Salvation, which to me is like, when I'm just in a bad mood, I just put that song on sometimes, and it really fixes me. But I mean, Remedy.
You know
Born
what
in My
song
Pride.
does that for me sometimes?
What's that?
Ventura Highway.
Okay.
America is an underrated band.
Completely.
And so fun to play on guitar.
Yes.
I know you don't know much about that, John, but
But that's where I'm going.
Ventura
There's-
Highway. That's one of those songs. That
there-
just
Southern
there-
Harmony,
there's some great
Musical
tunes.
Companion by the Black Crowes.
Very good, Teeter. I wouldn't have thought of that.
Chew on a piece of grass.
What you got there, Jonathan?
Wildfire went out.
Next one.
I am the eye in the sky.
Never mind.
Oh, little Nirvana.
Yes.
See, I thought of that, but it was just too obvious.
Yeah,
It's-
too obvious. But I mean, if we're doing sophomore
No,
albums,
no, I'm
it's
not
hard.
arguing. I'm just
You
saying
can't
it was-
not
it was
put
too
that one
easy.
in there. It's,
It was
it's
too easy.
Too good. I mean,
It is a
really
good album.
is.
But the second half of that album is much better than the first. Stay away or
Did he just dunk one?
Lounge Act.
Michael
Drain
Block just
You,
got a hole
Lounge
in
Act,
one,
all
dude.
that. Yeah. All right. So what do you got to say about it?
And I
Anything
think
else?
he air melted. I mean, start to finish, the album is brilliant. And if you look at all the albums that were coming out at that same time, you look at Soundgarden, you look at
Right.
Pearl Jam with 10, there were so many things about that album that just ran it. And I still think their sound, 30 years later, would translate.
Yeah. It. What was it? Butch Vig did that album.
He did.
Yeah, he did a great
From the
job.
band Garbage.
Yeah,
They
look,
did a
he,
great
dude, he
job.
dunked it.
All right, my next one is Tool. How do I say it? Anima.
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 No. Yeah, I've heard it so many different ways, but that's my favorite Tool album. Probably followed by 10,000 Days. Or I'm sorry, Lateralist.
Schism's on that, right?
Schism,
Lateralist.
Lateralus. that's right.
It's got Hooker with a Penis, which is my favorite song of them.
I met
yeah.
a boy.
I love it.
wearing
Stink-
Vans,
Stink Fist
501
H. It's just
at
I
the
love the
Jesus Christ, a boy with a penis.
I love the stuff that comes with Tool. Maynard is
Hooker
to
with
me
a
just
penis.
an absolute genius. Just visually, the album they put together, like the packaging, you know, with the
He deserves that.
renticular, is that what it's called, where you move it and
Yeah.
it goes different. I love that kind of stuff. I love the fact that he just talks about anything in his lyrics. There's nothing that holds him back. I like how they they'll make an album and there'll be like 80 minutes of quiet and then there'll be this song that's like 99. You know,
Yeah.
I love that stuff, and I can put on that album and it's just perfect from beginning to end. It's got a little Bill Hicks influence on it there.
Oh.
But yeah, Teeter.
Some say drugs are bad. Here's Tom with the weather. Siamese Dream by Smashing Pumpkins.
Might see that again.
Good one.
Yeah. Siamese Dream.
It's a perfect album.
It's a perfect
absolutely perfect.
perfect album. Doesn't get much better than that.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
For a sophomore effort.
Yeah.
But
I mean, think about what they went from Gish, which had 3 or 4 good songs.
Gish has 11 good songs.
Not compared to Siamese. But
No.
Siamese is just perfect from
Start
beginning to
to finish,
end.
yeah.
There's not a bad song.
Even
I'd say
though-
the weakest song on there is Sweet. Sweet?
Sweet.
That's probably the weakest song, and it's kind of a throwaway 2-minute song, whatever. But that's just a great song, or a great album.
Agreed.
What you got, John? You're up.
I am. Well,
He just went. You're not paying attention. You're paying attention to golf.
That's a major. You get 4 of these a year.
It's the PGA Championship.
Number
Nobody
4.
cares about that.
Hey,
You'll
just
appreciate
know,
this one.
Sausage has good connections to golf.
He
We'll
does.
just leave it at that.
You'll appreciate this one.
All right, I'm waiting.
Shout, head over heels.
Songs from the big chair.
Everybody wants to rule the world. Songs from the big chair.
That's a good one.
That is awesome.
Absolute,
That is a great
absolute.
album.
For some reason, I
masterful-
thought that was their third album, or I'd probably pick that.
It was second. And now that you're saying that, I'm surprised. I was like, he's gonna have this.
No, I don't miss
Masterful
that.
album.
Missed
I
that.
remember listening
But,
to it
you
when
know,
I was a
they've
little
got
kid, and I was like,
6,
God, this
7.
is so good.
There's 6, 7 albums of theirs, and they're all perfect.
Yes.
They really are.
I mean, it's
and,
a great
and songs
sound.
from the big chair.
And we went and saw them last
saw
Sunday.
them
It was
last Sunday.
171
We
degrees.
did.
And it was
And it was
the
so
first
good.
picture of me and Teeter in 40 years.
40 years.
Yeah,
first
there's
picture.
only 3 pictures of us in existence, and that was the first
Yeah,
one.
and we
But
were
here's the
sweating
thing.
sticks
I
at
have one
Barnsley.
on music from y'all.
And-
I made a
Yeah, we were sweating sticks. Oh, God,
And I've
Scotty.
seen hundreds of bands live, and that was one of the top 5 concerts. They sounded so freaking
And
good.
they're 60.
Yeah, they're
And
good.
we're
man.
just, I mean, it was a
Roland's
blast.
voice is so unique,
Yes.
and the way he writes songs.
He's
They're a different version of Lennon and McCartney for sure.
They are.
I like them a lot.
They are.
I like them. That's a
But
great
that's,
pick.
yeah.
I'm gonna go with Ride the Lightning, just because it's easy. I'm not a huge fan, as I said a few days ago, of Kill 'Em All. It's dropped into my 6th position on their all-time albums because 72 Seasons is really growing on me. And the tab book should be there when I get home today, so I'll be able to.
Did you order it?
Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah.
already been made.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? It's been out for like 2
Is
weeks.
Wolf still making it?
I doubt it. I doubt it. Cherry Lane.
Cherry.
But yeah, Ride the Lightning. It's what I learned to play guitar on. Teeter and I have played Fade to Black and For Whom the Bell Tolls probably a million times together. I can see the tablature in my head. I just love that album from Fight Fire with Fire to Trapped Under Ice. I think Escape is a great song, even though they've only played it once in their entirety.
And there was still some influence of this man.
Yep, there was. There
In the
was.
band.
Call to Cthulhu, I think, and Creeping Death had some stuff in it.
He was just such a toolbox, man. He was a good
He's
musician.
a great
man. He was a
guitarist. So,
toolbox.
but yeah, Ride the Lightning is
Dave Mustaine's
to go from Kill 'Em All
Agreed.
to the composition, and Cliff had a huge part in this.
Yeah.
But to go from that to that, because Cliff didn't have a huge influence on the stuff that was written, because Mustaine had written a lot of it. But you and the bass is kind of obscured on Ride the Lightning. But if you listen to isolated bass tracks and see what Cliff's doing, it's great how dirty he sounded and Lemmy like, but it just made the songs great. And so that's my next one. Yeah, I know, right? All right, Teeter, you're up.
You're not gonna like this pick, John. At all.
The Beastie Boys.
He's not gonna like this pick at all.
Is it Paul's Boutique? So it's
Paul's
Licensed
Boutique.
Ill.
It's Paul's Boutique.
Paul's
That's
Boutique.
their,
That's
was their first.
That's your second. The License Ill was the first one.
License Deal was the first.
A Licensed Ill was before Paul's Boutique?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I wouldn't
But
guess
Paul's
that.
Boutique is when the Beastie Boys were like, okay, we're gonna play our own instruments. We're gonna.
And they do.
They do.
I heard them play
They-
Sabotage one time,
they
and I'm
play-
like, dude,
well,
this plays bass.
From Paul's Boutique on, they played their own instruments.
Yes, you don't
And
think about it.
You can't go into Hey Ladies. You can't go
Hey
into
Ladies!
Rolling down. You know, you can't. You got to get away
Something
from
like that.
those. You got to get away from those.
No, they're
songs
impressive.
and get into their jams.
Mhm.
Because as musicians go, they're the funkiest group of white boys you'll ever meet. They are absolutely just amazing.
Okay.
So
It's almost
Beyond
and
Flea
you're
and
gonna
Frusciante.
hear this
Yeah.
again. Not that album, but you're gonna hear this again. A lot of the artists in today's music, let's just say starting 20 years ago, 25 years ago, did a lot of fake it till you make it type deal where they played a sound that their record company wanted them to play,
yeah.
All right.
got themselves introduced, and then said, now here comes my stuff.
Well, that's what happened with Beasties.
Pink, Alicia Moore, is a prime example of that. When she first came out, she was wearing the pink hair. It was a lot of hip hop, not really hip hop,
The girl Pink?
but yeah, but
Oh,
hip-
is that her real
hip
name?
Pop, yeah, Alicia Moore.
She's hot.
Hip hop, she is extremely. But it wasn't hip hop; it was hip hop. It was kind of like a rappy
She
hip hop
writes some good
sound.
songs.
That was the first album.
I think
Then
she
she got her time, and she said, "Okay, now here's what I've got." You see a lot of people do it, and I think the Beastie Boys did that. It was kind of a
If you put,
let me
if you
throw
put
this in your
License to
way.
Ill and Paul's Boutique side by side, they're two
They're
different albums.
completely different albums. It's
Yeah,
a different
right,
sound. It's lyrically.
I swear I would have
everything's
thought
different.
those were backwards. Yeah. Okay.
Well, actually,
But so Licensed Ill had the party
No Sleep
song.
Right,
Till
for your right to
Brooklyn.
party.
But they had no-
Paul Revere,
Paul Revere,
Brass
yeah.
Monkey.
Right, but the
Yeah.
party song came off of that, right? So
Yeah.
we were in 5th grade when that came out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did too.
And that was a cheesy song that they didn't even want to record, from what I understand.
They didn't record most of
It's
those songs.
terrible.
No, I'm saying they didn't want to do it. They record company
It's
wanted
so
to.
awful.
It was kind of a joke that they
What
made.
guitar
Jesus.
player from a death metal band kind of was on that album? Because they were on the same record label.
I
It's
don't know.
just gay.
Slayer.
It's so horrible.
Oh, really?
Horrible.
Doing what?
Playing on
Trash.
No Sleep Till Brooklyn.
Yeah. Trash.
Who?
Kerry King.
I don't like Kerry King.
We don't like Kerry King.
He's with Magic Johnson in my book. All right, what do you got, John? Give us another one. Sophomoric
Three?
efforts. If you're ranking them.
4. We've done 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3.
No, I've done 3 already.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah.
is my fourth one.
Fourth one.
Yeah.
February Stars, Monkey Wrench, My Hero, Everlong.
The Color and Shape.
The Color and Shape, Foo Fighters.
I thought about
That's
that.
a good
Phenomenal
That's a good
album.
It's a good one.
I like In Your
John,
Honor
I
the
like
best.
it.
Still to this day, right now, and Peter and I have talked about this numerous times, probably the last great American rock band.
Hands down. Oh, Killers are in there too.
Killers are good. I mean, they are, but the Foo Fighters just. I mean, you're still looking at Grohl carrying on.
Don't you think that?
Cobain's vision?
Don't you think that he's surely surpassed Cobain's record
Yes.
sales and all that, right?
Absolutely.
Like
Well,
they,
yeah. I mean, Cobain was
Well, I
alive
don't know.
for
I don't know.
5
That might be
years.
interesting to look up.
I mean,
Because
I would
Nevermind's
think
probably sold a lot of
it
albums.
has,
Yeah.
but they got 3 albums.
In
And
Utero.
if you count the Unplugged, 4 albums.
Incesticide.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
5
In Utero
albums.
was.
But I'm saying
probably had
they're
huge
what, like
sales.
8, 9 by now, and they're selling out arenas.
I don't know. I
Like,
bet Nevermind has sold a lot more albums than Eater. I don't know. I bet that'd be interesting. to
but
look
that is one popular band. Is
Who?
my point. The Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters, that's
And I
right.
still contend that he's more talented than Kurt.
up. The biggest concert.
Kurt made a mistake by not letting him write more songs.
But he started letting.
I agree.
On
He did.
Incesticide- On In Utero.
He wrote Scentless Apprentice. That's like that's the only writing credit I think he has on an album. My point
I
is,
thought he wrote Party Dumb too.
I don't think so. I think he only had that one. My point is if they'd have let Newstead into the band and let him write in the Black Album. They let him write for My Friend in Misery and like one other thing, but like why not take these talented people and help them?
Yeah.
Let them help you instead of just making it James and Lars band, you know. But that's strange. My next one would be I'm gonna go with Siamese Dream just because it's already been said. Siamese Dream to me is the Pumpkins can try for a million years, they will never write an album that brilliant. It's got shoegazing metal, it's rock, it's his tone on that album is so perfect. It's so fuzzy and like Hendrixy, but really hard. And Mayonnaise is my favorite song by them. All the solos are great. Soma has like 40 some tracks on it. They I mean, there's so many overdubs.
Yeah,
and there's just
overlaid.
track.
Did
and
Butch Vig do that?
I think he did, yes. And I mean, it's sonically just brilliant. The songs are brilliant. I mean, and only thing I can't listen to is Disarm because they just played it to death.
It's
because
a fun song,
It's a great song.
It is.
I mean, I used to be a little boy. Like we
As,
all used to be that little
especially
kid,
as
and now here
simple
we are.
as it is. I mean, it's just basic chords. But you know, I can still listen to Today and the other hits. But I just love it, man. Like Geek USA, Silverfuck, all that. They're just great. I love it. Just a great album. Your turn.
How many we got left?
Two.
I think.
But we're not doing honorable mentions?
You can.
Because
I think I'm gonna have one.
I'm
I'm
stuck
to kick
on
out.
3. So I know where to go here.
You'll be able to name it at the end. It's all right.
Okay, I'm gonna go Alice in Chains Dirt.
Yep. I had a hard time. That was my 7.
Alice in Chains Dirt. I mean, Facelift's a great album.
Facelift holds a strong place in my heart, but
It does,
Dirt is
but
a great album.
There's not a bad song on Dirt.
No, there's not. So. What would be the worst song on Dirt?
Angry Chair.
See, I would think it would be. I can't even think of what it is. What's the one where he's got the at the beginning where he's got that.
What the hell?
Yeah,
have I- Junkhead.
Junkhead's
Come on,
probably,
Brooks.
that's probably my least favorite of all time.
Yeah.
Angry Chair, even though I've heard it many times, that's a great song.
I don't like
I
Angry
like
Chair.
it. And if you're ever teaching somebody a guitar, that's probably one of the
Well, it's
easiest
because
songs.
Lane wrote it.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
man.
like one of the easiest songs to learn on
But
planet Earth.
I think, that's right there. My last two are pretty close to it.
Great album. What you got, John? Bring us home.
This is the last one.
What's he laughing
No,
at?
it's not.
No,
That's
no,
it.
I think we got 2.
No,
I got 1,
This
2. I got 2.
This
I
to
got 2
me is one of the epitome of fake it till you make it albums.
more. This will be interesting.
I remember hearing the first one, and it was the guy that Dr. Dre was telling us about. You were hearing about him on MTV, and you're thinking, what? Like
It went
a
straight.
white dude with blonde hair and blue eyes wearing a big yellow
Is
jumpsuit?
he
Like,
drunk?
what are we doing
No,
right
he's
now?
not,
What are we doing right
He's
now?
not drinking.
Then the first album came out, and you know, it's almost like